going down Saturday, October 23rd. Bethesda Blues and Jazz presents Brand Nubian, Smith & Wesson, live in concert. For tickets and more information, log on to Bethesda Blues, October 23rd. Brand Nubian, Smith & Wesson in the building. It's crazy. DJ.
Okay, into around the time when late 80s, early 90s. Shit. Red Alert is you were the king. You were the DJ king. You had the radio on lockdown. Am I right or left?
Hey, I know that when I came on in 1983 in October, I learned how to build, create, establish, and become to what it is. And I just learned how to keep that flow going, you know, because you don't stay on top of your shit, you will be replaced.
Listen, I was such a hip hop fiend back then. Like I was always, I was up in the tunnel. I was up in the, the quarters. I was at all these spots, rooftop, whatever the fuck you can name, whatever hip hop shit you can name back then, I was there. And I think I told you this story, but I want to just share it with the audience. So I remember there was a phase in my life when, it was like, all right, you got to stop doing this street shit or else you're going to fuck around and go to jail. And that's going to stop your, your mission from doing this hip hop shit. You know what I mean? So you, young man, you need to fucking get a job or whatever. You know what I mean? So I'm like 18, maybe getting my first regular job. Like, you know what I mean? So it was at this fucking spot where they build tents and shit,
Right.
And this was some hard fucking work. Like I'm talking, they got tents that are the size of, that fit in your backyard. And they got tents the size of a football field. Right. So, and it's slave work. Back then, minimum wage was like $3 and some change an hour. You know what I mean? It's crazy shit, right? So, long story short, we out in Jersey somewhere, man. We doing one of these football field tents. This shit got revolving doors and all kinds of shit. And then, man, I'm pissed. It's Friday night. I should be at the quarters. The Red Alert's on the radio right now. I'm missing all this shit. And these motherfuckers is trying to fucking slave me. You know what? And I might have had like 3 days on the job. It's like my third day on the job, Red. Fuck y'all. I quit. I quit. I went in the van in one of the trucks, fucking turned on Hot 97. You know what I mean? And there you were playing your shit. I rolled up some fucking weed. I'm smoking weed, listening to fucking, you know what I mean? Hot 97, Red Alert, hip hop, the shit that I love. You know what I mean?
Getting cloudy, huh?
In the truck, yeah, getting cloudy. Like, fuck these motherfuckers, man. I'm just trying to fight with the foreman later that night. Shit was crazy. I say all that to say, man, Yeah, you was worth doing shit like that for. Like, you know what I mean? Like you was worth quitting a motherfucking job for a slave job for and just being like, fuck that. I'm standing on the side of hip hop, man. Fuck y'all niggas, man.
And I'm gonna tell you something. Now, when I first got on radio, they wasn't paying me at first. I went 3 months without pay.
Whoa.
Yeah, 3 months without pay, but I was building my name. Even same thing for my cousin Jackie. He was on before me for 2 months. He was building his name, would let him to get studio work, getting parties, but then he started being on the road with Soul Sonic. So that's where they brought me in. And I'm building my name, but I still had a job at the side. I used to work at this company called Gibbs and Hill. And that company was in Two Penn Plaza, right across the street from Madison Square Garden. My job position, I used to okay blueprints because I took up drafting in school. I took up music, I took up drafting. Drafting where you learn how to read layouts and blueprints for different structures. So that's what I was doing. But here it is. When I got on, I wasn't getting paid. I didn't get paid until like the beginning of the new year. October, November, December. By January, I was getting something. And it was still low.
I was gonna say, and you was getting something. You don't sound like you was getting it.
And I was on every other week. I wasn't on every week. They had me on from 11 at night to 2 in the morning. I was getting paid every other week. And it was only $100.
Wow.
Only $100.
Wow.
But look at the amount of time, how many gigs I got and parties to do for my exposure. So I always used the radio as my office for outside work.
Right. And it made you a fucking star. Like, because just being on the radio or the TV at that time was just something magical about it. Like, if you was on the radio, man, like, you a fucking star, man. So let's talk about how, I mean, I guess, you know, because once you was down with like KRS and all of them, then it was like, then you're known for like being down with the Jungle Brothers and all that type of shit. Tell me how that relationship came about, actually, with the Jungle Brothers.
Well, like you just heard me said about with Scott, you know, I knew Scott, so I got to build with them to become parties of Boogie Down Production. After Jungle Brothers, it's all started with my nephew Mike. Mike G is my sister's son. He's my nephew. He's my sister's son.
Ah.
So now here it is. He in high school. And while in high school, he used to always say, yo, we want to make a record. We want to make a record. I wasn't taking him serious in the beginning. But then my man, Tony D, they used to have this group called Bad Boys that made that record, Inspector Gadget. Remember that? Yeah. Right. So here it is. Tony D say, yo, Red, I just put the studio in my house. Yo, if you got anybody that you want to bring down to start doing some work, let me know. I thought about my nephew. So I came to my nephew. I said, yo, tell you and your team to go on down and do your thing. First, they started doing one thing at Jazzy Studio, but they continued to go to Tony D studio. That was way out there.
So wait, they was at Jazzy Studio. Which one? Because I remember first he had the one on Westchester Avenue.
Yeah.
Under the 6.
That's
and
the
then
one
there was
the
Allerton Avenue one.
That's the one he went to, Westchester.
Westchester Avenue one. Okay.
That's the one he went to. So they did something first there, but then they continued to start going over to Tony D. His studio was way out there by Coney Island. Way out there. So they traveled all the way out there to record. And that's when they started making their bones. Meanwhile, the school that Mike went to was Mary Bertram.
Mary Bertram, rocking on.
So these are all the people that was in Mary Bertram High School. It was Mike, Africa.
Right.
My man, Brother Jay from X-Clan. My man, rest in peace, Sugar Shaft. That was the DJ. Also was Q-Tip.
Right.
Ali Shaheen.
Right.
And Jerobi.
Right.
So they all went to the same high school. So they always doing things down there, and they start to learn how to formulate this up and become who they are. So that's where Jungle Brothers came about. Same time Jungle Brothers came about, I got real close to Mark the 45 King. Mark the 45 King was bringing me all the different beats all the time. I played on the radio. That's why I went and got that promo. A cool DJ Red Alert with the 45 King special. So I could give him his platform. No? Then he started bringing me different artists. He was bringing me Lati, Shirab G, Lati and Shabazz, Apache, and then he brought me this young lady by the name of Queen Latifah. So now I'm listening to all that. I'm checking it out, liking that, I'm playing it. Same time, here come De La Soul. De La Soul coming around. So De La Soul coming around, you know, they doing their thing. I'm playing their stuff. De La Soul and Jungle Brothers got to meet each other for the first time at a summer spot I think up in Boston. Queen Latifah is label mates with De La Soul, Tommy Boy. I have ties with Mark the 45 King, so we all start mingling around each other. And you know, like a lot of people go and look at me like the leader. I wasn't the leader. I would say that Jungle Brothers helped lead to connect everybody together. You know? Here it is. They went overseas for the first time in 88. Who Africa come across meeting? Moni Love. You know? Now, that's another attachment. I got cool when I was DJing with Sparky D. When I was down the top in North Carolina, I forgot what part of North Carolina it was. I met this guy. He was the top DJ down there. He was known as Shorty Doo-Wop, him and his cousin. He came up here and said, yo, man, I want to get ready to go on, move on to the next thing. I got this guy, he from Queens, and we want to make some music together. Shorty Doo-Wop changed his name to Mr. Law. His man name is Drez. They became Black Sheep. So you see how we always assembling around each other. Meanwhile, who I had with me hanging all the time was the Violators. So we was always just like attaching ourselves to each other.
And okay, and so now I also told you how, see, back then, y'all, DJs actually broke records. Like they would listen to a record and decide if the shit was dope and if there was some shit they was gonna play or not. Like, you know what I mean? And this man, I've seen him do it on the fly. First of all, how did you get introduced to Pooh Bah?
First, I got introduced to Pooh Bah, but he was down with the group called
Master of Ceremonies.
Master of Ceremonies.
They had Sexy, Cracked Out.
Right, Crack Out, and then Sexy, which was really big. You know? And that's how I came across him.
So you came across, you learned, he got on your radio, on your radar from Master of Ceremonies. Now, one day, he shows up at the radio station with an acetate talking about, yo, I got a new group. Play my joint. Because that's what the fuck happened. Like I remember we had to acetate, yo, come on, we're gonna go up to Red Alert. We're gonna get this shit played. I know Red from, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so he was our pioneer, like his relationships that he had from Master Ceremonies and all that type of shit. We used those shits, you know, we was just following him like, all right, come on, you are fearless leader. Like we up there. So we went up there, sitting in the lobby, all that type of shit. We waiting. Finally, yo, here come Red Alert. Red Alert comes out. Pooh Bah gave you the record or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Like you went back, put it down, listen real quick in the headphones. Like, all right, cool. So we like, all right, we leave, we go back downstairs, and that's my word. By the time we got back to the fucking car, the shit was playing on the motherfucking radio.
And everybody know my thing. If I like it, I'm going to play it.
But it was like, you got a show going. You had a show going on. You were in the middle of your show. You had to kind of just listen to it and give it a quick, like, what was your criteria? Because it had to be, did it grip you right away? Because you didn't have a lot of time to really listen to the whole fucking song. How would you know?
Well, put it this way. There was, during the commercial breaks, I used to have 10 minutes worth of commercial. I was able to come running out, get the record, go ahead, listen to a portion of it, take a judgment, and see where I'm going to fit it in.
Because now, what was your judgment? What would you use as your judgment? What made you say yay or nay to a record?
My judgment about a record is presentation of how the delivery is as a person rhyming, how the tracks sound, how it fit all together, like one good portion. Like you get a meal. You got the meat, you got the starch, you got the vegetable. If everything complete, it tastes good. If I hear everything as one complete, sound good. So and then there was times, I know a lot of people was always griping me because I was always honest. If I didn't care for a record, I'd tell them in a minute. I don't care for it. I don't feel it. That was my saying. I don't feel it.
Right.
And a lot of people getting mad at me, but I was honest. And then, you have people that want to try to shove a couple dollars in my face. And I said no.
And be like, do you feel it now?
Yeah.
Do you feel it now?
Yeah. And I'll be like,
no.
No.
I still don't feel it.
No. Because I'm not even taking your money. No. I'm not, you can't buy me.
Right.
You can't buy me. You're not going to pimp me. I pimp myself. Here it is. You go ahead and do your thing with everybody else. But if you got something that sounds better, bring it back to me. There was one person I give a lot of respect to. He's no longer here with us. He came up to me about 2 or 3 times with a record. Each time he came up to me with it, I honestly said, "Nah, I don't like it." He never said nothing. He left. Come back again. No. That final time he came, he let me listen to it. I heard it. Yo, my man, you got one. I like this. That was The Word I Manifest, Gangstar. Rest in peace, my man Guru. That's what I did.
Rest in peace, Guru.
Same thing. Remember the first time Naughty by Nature was known as New Style. Here it is. They was trying to come at me with that song. I didn't like it.
You sound like you was about to say, here they was trying to come at me with that new style shit.
Nah, that was the name of their group, New Style.
I know. But they had that new style music that wasn't that Naughty by Nature music, I'm sure. Like it was
right.
Probably all right, but wasn't that OPP?
Didn't care for it. Until here it is. One day I'm coming out from remember the Red Zone?
Of course.
54th Street. I'm coming out. I see my man Pookie. He was representing Naughty by Nature. He said, "Yo, Red, I want you to come over here and listen in the car what I got." And I heard it for the first time, OPP. And I look at him, I say, "You got one." All you gotta know that if you get that certain pattern and that certain sound, you know where you gotta go from there. That's what it is. I try to encourage people to go back to the drawing board. I understand you blood, sweat until you spend time in the studio. Hey, same thing. Everybody trying out to be on the team. You might not make the cut. What you gonna do? You gonna practice some more. Record don't sound good. Go back to this. Try it again until something hit. That's me.